Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Words of Crom. As usual, I'm Dan.
Phil. Stuart.
Nick.
And once again, I'd like to remind everyone to become a fan of Words of Crom on Facebook. Simply type in Words of Crom and follow us on Twitter at Words of Crom.
I think we need to say this more often because we've had precisely 0 followers.
Since the last podcast we have had 2 followers.
On Twitter?
Oh. Okay, on Twitter, please follow us. Can't even say the word properly. On Twitter, please follow us at Words of Crom.
That'll win them over.
Eloquence. Okay, Dan, so what's best in life?
Don?
Put your phone down. It's time
to crush your enemies, to see them driven from their homes and to
Wrong.
see them driven somewhere, see them driven before you and to hear the lamentations of their women.
You cheating fuck.
Well, how else was I meant to answer that question?
By knowing the answer.
By knowing some spuds.
I've not seen the
Some
film.
good films.
He's not seen the film, yet he's on a podcast called Words of Crom.
Which I didn't know. I didn't know until after like 4 episodes why it was called Words of Crom. I also thought it was a misspelling of. And again, I don't even know because I've not played it yet. There's some being or creature or whatever in Borderlands called Crom with a different spelling. Would that be correct?
No.
I don't know.
No.
There's also a band called Crom.
With a C. Oh, yeah. Okay. And now we know.
Yeah. Well, you don't really know. You just pretend to.
But now we know.
I stumbled across what would have been the perfect theme tune for it.
What?
Crom by Arnold.
Yeah, I love that song. Anarchor, in fact, Anarchor are proud followers of this on Facebook, aren't they?
Indeed they are.
So, big shout out to Anarchor, who are the greatest band of all time.
They are the greatest band of all time.
Colourful symmetry.
Are we sucking up there because they follow us?
No, they actually are the greatest band of all time.
Brilliant.
And why do they follow us?
Because they're called Anarchor.
Does this have to be explained?
Does this have to be explained?
No,
they follow us,
yeah.
Dan,
Wait,
because...
well, did they follow us because one of you suggested they follow us, or did they do it off their own backs?
Well, they're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, they're mates.
Individual members.
Yeah, we've been to see them.
And how many followers do they have?
Probably
more than
thousands.
Several thousand.
Yeah.
Okay, fans.
They do world tours.
Okay, fans of Arnold, become a fan of Words of Crom. You won't be listening to this because you haven't listened because you're just a fan of Arnold, but if you are listening, become a fan.
I feel next time Arnold are in the UK, after that weak-ass plug, I feel we should get them actually onto the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll.
Yeah.
We should definitely want to.
Words of Crom t-shirts printed up and all go in uniform.
Yeah. Words of Crom are actually one of the well, they are the greatest band of all time.
You just call them Words of Crom.
Sorry, Words of Crom. Arnold Core. I've never encountered a band that are so like into the fans that Arnold Core. You don't see Coldplay go at the levels.
You don't get on stage with Coldplay.
Yeah, you don't get on stage.
I instantly fell over.
I recommend one Coldplay song in the last podcast, and suddenly you're all, Dan likes Coldplay, that's more.
Well, they are immensely middle class and safe.
Your mum look at a picture of you though, you can tell you're a Coldplay fan.
It's cardigan music.
Wait, stop. How can you tell I'm middle class?
I didn't say that.
We didn't say that.
You just said you can look at a photo of me or something.
So you're a
Coldplay fan. And then you automatically go into middle class.
You can tell this makes me look like a Coldplay fan.
No, you.
I'm wearing a Foo Fighters hoodie, and I have.
No, your face.
To be fair,
I have long.
Your demeanour.
I have long hair and a beard.
Let's put this out there.
Hang about. I have medium to long length level hair and a beard. How do I look like a Coldplay fan?
Because you look harmless.
Ash.
You'd be the first to wither in a bank robbery.
I wouldn't.
You would. You'd urinate on yourself. And then just before they're going to grease all the hostages because the police are outside, they'd look at you and go, fucking, it ain't even worth it.
This is coming from one of the greatest cowards I've ever met. Okay, you're the kind of person, if you're in a bank robbery and they started saying, right, who's going to suck cock, you would be first in line going, no, I'll suck it, just don't shoot me.
And don't take my money.
I suspect the cocksucking would come from you before it would come from me.
Well, this
It really wouldn't.
Perfect segue into this week's question.
Okay.
Oh god.
No, this is a good one. Because it doesn't directly involve you. So you'll have to choose your words probably carefully.
Okay.
From the same person who asked the question last week, which we had to edit out. So it's Kyan.
Because it was absolutely grotesque, some of the stuff Dan was saying.
I can't look at him the same anymore.
Howdy, boys.
So, if one of the other three of us was to
no.
come... No?
You don't know what it is.
You're going to ask if one of you guys came out.
Who would it be? And why?
Wait. Is the question who would I want to come out?
Not want to.
Who would you think would
If
come
one
out
of us
and why?
was to come out as gay,
Yes.
who would it be and why?
So,
right,
if you were to put money on it,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't do,
Yes.
because that'd be foolish.
I thought
Yeah, it'd be from someone like you.
I
Perfect
thought the
male
question.
specimens of
I thought the question was going to be horrible, like who would you nosh off?
If that's where your mind goes to, Dan.
good.
Who do I think would be gay out of the three of you?
To be fair, I'm at a disadvantage because I'm wearing a Hello Kitty blanket.
Honestly,
He keeps looking at me.
It says eyeing us all.
honestly, I guessed you
Why is that?
because
Taking the glasses off, I'm gonna fuck you up.
you're soft. Hear me out.
Fuck!
You're a soft man. You could be a good gay bear. You know, you're one of those bear gays.
He's a bigger fucking bear than I am.
Yeah, but you know,
Stu would be an otter.
what's an otter?
It's an animal.
I know what an otter is, but what's an otter in a
It's
sexual
like
sense?
if a bear is fat, hairy, gay, an otter is thin, hairy, gay.
What? Well, Stu, you can wish to be thin.
You'd be a fucking twink in your
Yeah,
way.
I wouldn't.
You would.
you would.
You know, again, you guys make it out like I'm super thin. I'm a slim gentleman.
You could play a crack addict in a film.
I could, absolutely.
Right then.
However-
This is the thin net.
However, I'm really not that thin. You know, it's just I'm perfectly proportioned. I'm slender. Anyway, yes, I think Stu, just because he's of the nicest, softer disposition, he's a coward, and
What are you saying about the gay people, Dan?
Homosexuals aren't intrinsically cowardly.
well, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let me back. Can I backpedal?
No.
No.
Well, I am. Too bad I'm backpedaling. I take that back what I just said, because for every cliche womanly gay, you get an uber macho hard ass gay who you would not have a fight with. But again, you're not that type of gay, Stu. You know, you're a normal gay. You know, you're a Scott Mills gay. You know, you wouldn't necessarily question that you're gay. You know, but
Scott Mills, the Radio 1 person.
is gay.
He's
yes.
gay.
He's a fucking twat.
He's not. How is he a
He is.
twat?
He's a disgusting human being.
On
There, I
what
said it.
grounds? Now, doesn't it make you sound like a homophobe? On what grounds is he a disgusting human being?
I had to listen to his radio show when I drove home from work, and it was
Like that bastard.
an actual chore not to
Isn't
just hurtle my car into a brick wall and
When
end it
you
all.
when you could have put it on Radio 2.
There's nothing else. Oh, Radio 2 with Chris Evans at that time.
Scott Mills is on in the afternoon, Chris Evans is on in the morning.
At the time when I was listening to it, I don't think he was. He was on the evening.
Well,
In the morning.
how recently was this?
Fucking years.
Well, lineups do change.
Right.
Yeah.
So clearly both of us are wrong. Anyway,
What?
it's okay, Stu, you're alright. Anyway, yeah, so I like Scott Mills. I like
So
Scott
I'd be the most gay out of anybody purely because I'm supposedly cowardly and I'm big.
It's just, you know, Nick, I don't see, no offence, Nick, I don't see you as oozing macho-ness, because you don't. But
From him. A macho insult coming from Dan.
hear me out.
Nick the fighter.
I don't see Nick oozing macho-ness, and I think you'll agree wearing a Hello Kitty blanket. You know, actually, maybe Nick's luxurious long hair would be a great feminine gay quality.
I don't think I'd make a good gay because there's a standard level of hygiene that I would not be prepared to meet.
No, I'm not pretty enough to be gay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm too
I'm,
rough.
I was honestly waiting for one of you
I
guys.
could maybe be like one of those cowboy gays, like in Brokeback, but nothing else. Nothing else. And even they are probably more badass than Coldplay.
What about Simon Amstel?
What about him?
He's a nice normal gay fellow.
Is he gay?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not.
He looks like you.
No.
Well, he's got your hair.
He does look like a boy.
He's He's got
the same kind of physique.
You know what really,
like a boy.
You know what really annoys me? You have the same hair as someone, and suddenly you look like that someone. Oh, you look like James Blunt. Oh, you look like Sebastian Vettel. Oh, you look like all these people with different faces. You just happen to have the same fucking
You
hair.
look exactly like Sebastian Vettel.
You do look like Vettel.
I don't look like Vettel.
You do look like Vettel.
I look more like Nick Heidfeld,
Who the fuck is Nick Heidfeld?
another Formula One
A
driver.
less good one.
So you'd rather be mistaken for a chump as opposed to
I'm going to
like a
look
champion.
at Heidfeld because I don't know what he looks like. But I suspect that he doesn't look like you. But you'll perhaps want to look like him. I think you don't. You say that you don't look like Vettel because Vettel isn't that traditionally good looking.
Ooh.
And you won't have it.
I don't look like
So
Vettel.
I don't know
You
what
do.
Heidfeld looks like, but I think you're picking Heidfeld because I bet you he's better looking than Finger. So
Firstly, I don't look like Vettel.
You
you do.
Secondly, even if I did, which I don't, I'm still better looking than anyone else in this room. So, you know,
In your mind.
In your overinflated opinion.
it's obvious though.
Well, it is. Right.
See-
Out of the four of us, who's currently got a girlfriend?
Only one person.
Only one, and is it you?
No.
Right.
If I wanted to lower my standards,
No.
You do not look like him.
Do you
Dan.
know who Vettel
Sorry.
looks like?
I don't look like Sebastian Vettel.
You do. It's
Do you know who Vettel looks like?
Yeah. You've showed me a picture of him.
And Nick said no.
I think you do. There's a resemblance. It's not as bad as
You
James
can look
Blunt.
like someone and not be the spitting image. As I said earlier, Nick's got a look of Chris Hemsworth. I won't fucking
he
double
does
that.
not.
He does not.
He has a look of him.
I don't know what bit. Maybe his toes do.
Okay. I was going more for the face.
It's not. It's not. That's not the first. You're not the first person to mention that film. So thank you.
Hey, you're alright,
So,
mate.
Anyway, Sebastian Vettel's got a hot girlfriend, so whatever.
that makes-
Are you living your life through a Formula 1 driver who doesn't know you? Just because you kind of look like him?
Whatever.
You just justified it because he's got a hot girlfriend.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Superficial.
What's it got to do with anything?
Is a rich Formula 1 driver. I'm sure that's got nothing to do with his relationship.
A little bit. Not
Just-
as much
was
as
that James
What-
Blunt?
what-
Yeah.
Just displaying a
Uh,
picture of James Blunt.
It's the fucking hair.
It's the fucking hair.
I'd change it if
The
I were you.
smile as well, kind of.
No, because I see. You know what? I like my hair. Okay, girls like my hair. The hair is staying. I just don't like being compared to other people who happen to have the same fucking hair.
Especially massive twats like James Blunt.
Yes.
I actually thought James Blunt was quite a decent chap
Isn't he
when he
the-
was on Top Gear.
Isn't he the gimp who did the I'm Beautiful song?
Yep.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Then he deserves to die death. Sorry, he could be the nicest guy in the world.
But was he a tank driver?
I don't know.
He was in
Wasn't
the
it?
army of some.
He was
some
something. He
description.
was something
Yeah,
regarding
he was in
tanks.
He's
yeah.
a right fucking Rupert though. So.
Yeah.
What does that even
A
mean?
Rupert is an officer.
All right, okay.
And
He's an
the-
officer, so therefore he never tried. I suppose you don't really know. I went to university with a guy who wanted to be an officer, and he was, shall we say, not up for the task. He was weak, and if he potentially had become an officer, I always felt that I don't think I'd have been comfortable had I been one of his soldiers following him because of that.
Oh.
aspect.
Oh man, that's anticlimactic.
That's good for the radio audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers, Dan.
Sorry, I was just reading something which will make no sense to anyone.
Again, reading Stuart's messages without...
Mm,
What can I say?
prior
What can I say?
consent.
He's a fascinating person.
yeah, with fascinatingly dark secrets.
Yeah.
I do.
Anyway, Dan, you said you had something to talk to us about.
Basically, in the last episode of Words of Crom, there was also something else that got cut out. I received a parking ticket and lost the appeal. And this week, I did something else stupid with my car. I ran out of petrol on my way to work, and
Fucking hell.
Schoolboy.
and the car cut out on the way to work. I was nowhere near a petrol station.
I wouldn't say it's a schoolboy error. I'd say it's a woman's error.
It's also not a schoolboy error because schoolboys can't drive cars.
So what happened?
It's
then?
more of a term, though,
What
isn't
did you do? What happened?
Basically, I don't have your standard fuel gauge in my car, you know, with the...
Is it a digital?
it's digital bars, yeah, so when it gets down to low fuel, I go onto my last bar. Now, I thought it was like my last car, where the more drastically you need fuel, the more and more it will beep at you, and the closer the beeps will get. It's like, okay, stop nagging me, I'll get petrol. This one, it turns out, doesn't do that, which I found out the hard way on Monday morning. And
so it just cut out.
It was horrible. I was doing 40 miles an hour, and then suddenly.
Did you lose like brakes and steering and everything? Was it proper squeaky bum moment?
Well, I was able to pull over. I had to pull over into a bus lane, which was very inconvenient. And then because it was 7 in the morning as well, because
So everyone was looking at you.
No, because it was 7 in the morning, there was no one about. That's the problem. I had to wait forever for a student to come along who happened to be waiting at the bus stop for his bus. I had to wait for a student to come along to help me push the car off the road so that I could then go off and
Fucking student. Being lazy, sauntering over. Well, do you need some help, mate? Yes, please, I do need some help there.
You've not got a particularly
what a dick.
large
I
car.
was going to ask, did a grown-up man come and help you out? Did a grown-up help?
What was the resolution? How did you get fuel in the car?
A grown-up help.
Well, I got the students to help me move the car because obviously I couldn't keep it on that road, and the nearest corner I could turn it around was like a massive steep ditch. So I had to be, in the car obviously to be able to steer it around the corner and then get.
You
the
got
handbrake
some
on.
fucking student push you while you're sweating car.
Yeah, I had to steer the car off the road, didn't I? So
Right, so you stand in the doorway and hold the steering wheel with
And
your
help
left
the
hand.
fucker out.
Well, he did a good job. Anyway, managed to move the car to a nice clear area, and then mercifully my mum happened to have come off. My mum finished her night shift, perfect timing, and picked me up on her way home from work, and she was able to take me to a petrol station. Cost £7 just to get a canister to put petrol in it, and
Do you not have one like emergency in the back of your car?
No, you can't. No.
You're not.
They only last 3 months anyway. Petrol stored.
Does it?
Apparently.
I did not know
Yeah, it
that.
does.
What are you on about the last 3 months?
It's not you. If you put fuel in your car and you've been storing it for over 3 months, then it may not work.
Oh.
Apparently.
Okay.
Not to say not.
They have a shelf
Yeah,
life.
it's got a shelf life.
Yeah, but
Bit milk.
Yeah, but you wouldn't keep a canister full of petrol in your car. You'd keep
No.
an empty canister, sure, but you wouldn't keep a canister full of petrol.
Like-
Anyway,
Depends what you're up to.
should said incident happen again, which it won't, I now have a canister. And there you go. But the annoying thing is, I've been doing my Christmas hours, so I can guarantee my Christmas holiday. And I ended up being 2 hours late to work, which then meant I had to then work extra hours over the next 3 days just to be able to get that 2 hours back in, so I could get my 4-hour shift on Friday. But you know what? I persevered, and I got to finish home for Christmas before you guys.
Did your mum ground you?
No, she didn't. Does your mum even love you, Stu? When was the last time you spoke to her?
2 days ago.
What did she say? Oh, hello.
You didn't even go round today, this morning when you left ours.
They don't want him there.
No state.
And they don't want him there. She comes up.
Because he's a grown man.
That, because she looks at him and goes, "What a complete failure you turn out to be."
Sorry, Dan. Yeah.
What did your mum think when she's like, did you phone her up?
Yeah, I had to.
So you ran out of petrol.
Yep.
You had to get someone to push your car out the road for you.
A child.
Yeah.
A child pushed you around the bend while you sat in your car.
Hello, I said a student, okay? It could have been a mature 40.
It could have been a child.
What was
Probably
it?
a student.
It was a
child,
school
wasn't it?
child,
He
wasn't
was a
it?
teenager, yeah.
So you got a teenager to help you out, and
Yeah.
then you rang your mum. You couldn't have just walked to a petrol station.
Yeah.
Because I was far away from the nearest petrol station. It would have been over a half an hour
Uber.
walk. Thank you for pointing out my accent. It would have been over a half an hour.
Why not call a taxi?
Fuck
Or why
that.
not just do the half an hour walk? You got legs.
Yeah.
No, because again, time was of the essence. Okay, by the time I got in work, which was
2 hours late.
which was 2 hours late. Yeah, just like I had to wait ages just for someone to come along so I could
Well,
move
in
the
that
car.
time, was that wait more than half an hour?
Yes.
So you could have walked to the petrol station
No,
half an hour.
I
Walked
couldn't.
an hour
The chance of the car being, again, because after the whole getting the parking ticket last week and everything, I don't want to chance the one time I have to leave my car in a stupid area. I don't want a chance coming back and it's been ticketed or clamped, So I wanted to stay with my car. I made the right decision. I stuck by it, and I still got my Christmas holiday. Are you on Christmas holiday?
No.
It's not
fuck
got to do
you.
with anything.
I
Fuck you. I don't want a Christmas holiday. I could have booked them. I didn't want them.
What a sad existence.
Not really.
But he would have used his holidays.
What
on
a sad
different
existence for all those Muslims out there, all those Jews.
We were at work when he was on his leave. Fuck you.
Right, what's your point?
Well, what's your point?
I'd rather be off.
Yeah,
You booked a holiday and he doesn't have that day off.
No.
He booked a holiday and you didn't have that day off.
I've not booked a holiday. I use flexible hours. I've built up flexible hours so I can take flexible days off work.
Well, that's the disadvantage
When
of
he-
working
when
in a
he was-
warehouse where I can't choose when to... I don't know what, I'll come in at 10 o'clock today.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I have a job with definitive hours.
Well, you could still take time off for Christmas.
If I wanted
But
to.
he didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
Are you taking time off for Christmas?
Yeah.
Are you taking time off for Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, settled. Most people want time off for Christmas. But you're not
But-
most people,
but not-
Phil.
Well, I
I'd rather
imagine
have it-
most Chinese people want time off for Christmas, do you think?
I wouldn't have thought so.
What about most Muslims?
Mm.
Most Indians?
Incidentally,
No.
Shaf, you're welcome for the free day off. He's a Muslim friend from uni, and he every year sends out a thank you for the free day off to, to everyone on Facebook.
And now we know.
Yeah, I'd rather have time off when I want it, i.e. birthday. Like, I've booked my birthday week off, you've got it off now. So I can go to New York. I'd much rather do
Nice.
that than go, designated festive period upcoming, must book holidays.
I always have my birthday off anyway, so it still doesn't... yeah.
What time of year?
August. It's going to be
Nice.
sweltering,
Yeah, it will be. Badass.
but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would be as well.
Come along, if you want.
I could probably come along.
You and your filthy lucre.
I've been spending a lot recently. I've obviously a big
So-
Christmas had to buy presents. And
So Stu's going, Nick's invited. What about me?
I don't think you deserve to go now.
After you've insulted me for
Please-
when I'm
please.
choosing my holidays.
Please edit tumbleweed sound.
Did you just hear a bell in the distance?
Sad bastards.
So is that your story, Dan?
Yeah, pretty much. But I knew it would make you guys laugh and mock me, so I thought to share
Thank
it
you.
with
Thanks for that. You've had some bad luck with your car, haven't you?
That's not bad luck.
No, this one was stupidity. The thing
Yeah.
is, I got the warning on Friday afternoon. Took it out Friday night, which was ironically seeing you guys. Took it out Saturday night, took it out Sunday daytime, and in none of those times chose to refuel it. So it's
What
my
was this?
fault.
Yeah,
Last
you
week.
paid the price.
Say again.
Was this last week?
Yeah. It was literally just this Monday. So the thought was, again, because I thought I'd get the beep 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 thing, which obviously I
At
didn't.
least it's a mistake you'll probably never make again.
Never make it.
Would you put money on that? I wouldn't.
I would.
No.
I
In that car?
As,
Yeah,
as,
actually.
as the car owner, I
I think
would.
he's got some more sense about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
A
excuse
rare
me.
compliment, thank you.
Yeah, you're alright, mate.
It's
I've
a much
also got
compliment.
It was.
petrol gauge wars because I filled my car up from 3/4, managed to put 40 litres of fuel in, and apparently my car's only got a 40 litre tank. So fuck knows how much petrol I've actually got. My gauge is now reading half a tank, but I've done 270 miles, something like that.
So does that
Roll
imply?
the dice, I might be able to get to work.
So I'm confused. Does that imply that you've got less fuel than you thought, or more fuel than you thought?
Well, I've either got a TARDIS tank for filling my petrol up with, or my gauge is wrong. It's
But
an analogue gauge.
well, I got confused during that story. Does your tank imply that you've got more petrol than you have, or less
Yeah,
petrol?
more.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, good luck with
Considerably more.
that.
Because if it's reading right, I could probably do 500 miles on one tank. And I know Polos are pretty good going, but that's ridiculous.
Sure.
How much did that cost?
50 quid. I did have 10p off a litre though,
And how often do you refuel? Like, say once a month?
once a month. Yeah.
Right, that's the same as me. So that's still about the same price that you would pay on bus fare.
However,
I
on
don't
bus fare
always
you
hate
don't
the
pay
bus.
road tax, insurance.
Yeah, I don't. If my bus breaks down, I get off.
There's a
it.
guy at work who's had to recently move in with his, I think it's his brother-in-law or his sister-in-law, one of the two, in Manchester, and he works the same hours as I do, but it takes him about 2 hours to get home because he has to get a train from West Starton to Manchester, then a bus from Manchester to wherever the fuck he lives. And it costs him like £100 and something a month just to get to work.
Just in 2 hours. To me, the money.
In 2 hours.
The money isn't the problem for me. It's the fucking time.
That's the thing.
I hate wasting time.
2 hours. Like you can get Birmingham in 2 hours.
I'd just like to say as well that I bought my parents a chippy that night after my mum helped me with my petrol that morning.
Hero.
So yeah, just you do a good deed and it gets rewarded.
With chips, apparently.
What did the student get?
Did you even catch his name?
You know what? Honestly, if I'd had a fiver in my wallet, I'd have
given him a
I'd
couple
have
of
shown him
pounds.
it.
I'd have if I'd had a fiver in my wallet, I'd have happily given him a fiver. He had to settle for a handshake.
Why don't you take his address and say?
Did you not give him a signed photo?
Yeah,
I'm sure your glove box will be full of them.
I could have given him a business card. Actually, I got business cards in my pocket.
For the teenager, Dan, that could lead to prison.
Yeah, you'd be on a register if you did that.
Yeah.
Well, just as well then. I'm sure.
Yeah, giving money would be could be quite bad as well. I think you played it well by giving him nothing and just zooming off.
Anyway,
No,
Just waiting for
his mum.
look, what's done is done. You know, you can mock, but my mum loves me, and you know,
My mum loves me.
and I
What argument is that?
because I reckon I'm gonna get better Christmas presents than you were.
Fucking hell!
We grew up
How old are you?
We grew up.
Yeah, my mum doesn't have to buy my love.
My
You
mum,
probably will anyway, since you're all middle class, apparently.
you're the one who says I'm middle class.
I didn't say you're middle class.
said-
Well, you'll be able to listen to it back.
You
and
said
I said nothing of the sort.
No, you said
I feel another edit coming in.
you said off the record. This was never recorded. You said that I was too middle class to reverse a lorry.
That was ages ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
I stand by it. You agreed.
I don't think so. I you know.
For everybody
Do you
that is
feel like
listening
a
in,
proper-
the actual thing I said was there'd be a cab driver, not a cab driver, but a driver in his cab looking around, struggling, and needing help to help him back out. He'd see Dan and then think twice about asking him for help and just wait for someone else to come along. That is the accusation I made.
And
I
you
think
said,
it's true.
and you said it's because I look or sound or appear, whatever your justification was, too middle class.
Yes.
Whatever.
I'm sorry, I've just been mesmerised by that watch advert. It looks like it's solar powered.
It is.
Solar powered watch.
I want.
They claim that you don't ever need to have a battery, but I think should be a big asterisk next to that.
What happens
It's
to
like
you-
a battery break.
We live in an overcast country.
Solar power still works. It doesn't need.
It just tops
brilliant
it up.
sunlight.
It's not a solar. It's a proper watch battery, but every time that you're in daylight, it's topping it back up.
Right. If you went to space, technically, you're closer to the sun. Potentially.
No,
Potentially.
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 Wait,
Okay.
wait.
There's more chance of you not being close to the sun, though. There's more space beyond where we currently are than there is closer to the sun from where we are.
Doesn't make any sense.
So if you were to randomly appear somewhere in space, chances are that chance of you being
Well, yeah,
randomly
obviously, if
teleported-
you're randomly
Right then!
appear somewhere.
Except, if
But
you-
we don't randomly appear in space.
yes.
We get
Yes.
blasted up into space.
Also, if he was in our solar system, he'd have a gravitational pull pulling him in the direction of the sun anyway. So
Wrong.
No, it'd be the planet.
Yeah. So if he's next to Pluto, he'd go to Pluto rather than to the sun.
whatever, Pluto's path will still be, will still be.
Science with Dan Winwood.
You know, I didn't. Science was not my strong suit, so fuck off.
Driving, science.
Oh, yeah, I'm a perfectly good driver. I just happened to have made a stupid mistake on Monday.
And the week before.
No, that was not my fault. For people who don't know, I got a parking ticket. Not my fault. I followed a friend's car. She allegedly knew where we were going. Clearly not. Her fault.
Do you want me to tell my favourite Dan Winwood driving story?
Yes.
I don't.
Please do.
It's not a bad one, Dan. It's not a bad one.
I don't know the sound of it.
No, I'm sure you'll figure out which one it is. It's about. Is it about two? When did we film The Photographer?
2 summers ago.
2 summers ago.
2.5 years
It
ago.
was it was only. I think it might have been then. You'll have to remind me, Dan. We were filming this short film called The Photographer in this area called I forgot the name of it now. Rivington.
Rivington.
And this is like a really nice forested area. So Dan graciously drove me up there as we go and scout for locations.
I know this.
Did he charge you?
No, he didn't. Dan's never charged me for petrol, and I'm very grateful.
I never charge people for petrol. I would only ever charge people for petrol if we were going on like a big journey to, say, Liverpool or whatever. Other than that, people don't get charged for petrol. And you should know, my friend, because I've driven you to Manchester.
Yes, he has. A few times, Stu. So you're gay. But, so...
We'll be returning to this. But carry on.
No, that's fine. So we're driving up to Rivington, and it's getting quite dark, and now Rivington... To get up to where like this sort of like rustic car park is, it's like a big long country road with trees on either side, and at the end of this road there's like a turn off that leads you to this small secluded
concrete car park.
Concrete car park. So me and Dan were up there. Pardon me. I distinctly remember it because we had the Inception soundtrack on.
We did.
Which made it all the more scary.
Yeah, because it was
all the more dramatic.
Keep in mind, typical country park forested area, there's no street lighting.
There's no lights.
So the only lighting is the headlights of your car.
So
this was at night?
This was at night, yeah.
See,
Were you going dogging together?
Well, if you let us continue the story, Stu, you'll find out about the dogging.
The thing is, this is the thing, we'd already been to the location in the daytime, but it was the night before the shoot. Nick wanted to refresh his memory as to what angles he needed to film, blah blah blah. So I graciously took him to Rivington. Anyway, please continue, Nick.
Yeah, so we park up and we turn on the interior light and we start talking for about 20 some minutes. Then we notice...
Did you find the car surrounded by...
No. Then we notice, the solitary headlights of another car coming up the road farther down. And it comes up, it came into this car park, went round us once, drove round us, looked into us, and then drove round again, and then parked up behind us, and then turned off all its lights.
The thing is, right, this is the thing what we didn't realise. Basically, when he first came in the car park, he drove past the car behind us, and then his headlights disappeared, and we thought, we'll see him come round this side in any minute. He didn't come back round. What's going on here? Now, keep in mind, we only had the interior light on in my car. I turned my headlights back on, which illuminates his car. He's parked to the side and was clearly watching us. We went, okay, time to leave.
And then we skedaddled. And as we left...
He followed. But yeah, the
Inception off, put some getaway music.
The soundtrack was perfect though, wasn't it?
Yeah, the soundtrack was perfect.
We had Dream Is Collapsing by Hans Zimmer playing in the background, and it was thematic.
Which I feel should be the theme of the podcast. Get away from some metal. As much as I like the music we've been having recently for the podcast.
Head PE fan?
I've seen Head PE live before.
Really?
Yeah. I think at Download 2001.
We've seen them in the basement of Academy.
We scared the shit out of Jared by being really fucking drunk and like really, really happy to meet him, but when you've had a skinful, your inhibition meter gets turned off, so you just start gushing over people.
So he was surrounded by two 6 foot plus men who were drunk and sweating
and loving
in a foreign country.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite gig memories was from that gig because it was is it night walkers and day walkers?
Oh, crawlers.
Crawlers, yeah. Local Manchester band.
Either night or day, and either day walkers or crawlers or whatever.
Either way, top band. We've met the singer, and he remembered us from the last time they played with Head PE. But they're kind of like the hip hop type of metal. And they had a couple of b-boys break dancing in front of the stage while they were playing. We stood over to the left. This guy's fighting invisible ninjas, kicks out, his shoe flies off, hits the roof just above us and lands right in front of us. I'm like the only two metalheads there, and we're getting really fucking drunk. And he has to walk over really timidly and get his shoe back. It's just pitch perfect things like when it happens, like, oh fuck, what do I do now?
Regarding that situation though with the dogger in Rivington, which is what he was clearly a dogger. We were afraid when I first turned the headlights on. We were afraid he'd be stood outside the car with like a severed human head in his hands. So,
that ain't dogging though. That.
yeah, but that's what we were. I'm more comfortable with the dogging.
I'd be more comfortable with the dogging.
Would you have preferred to turn on your headlights and he's in front of you with a severed head or a raging head on?
Again,
a really severely angry one.
Worst case scenario would be the two together, I think. So.
or with his penis in the severed head,
Oh man.
in the neck bit,
And coming out the eye socket.
up through the mouth. I reckon in the course of human history that has happened before.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I bet it's happened in like Liberia or somewhere.
Anyway, to backtrack to, I think it's a bit unfair that we left it with just Dan deciding who's gay. So, open the question to everybody. So, first to Phil, if one of us three was gay, who would it be?
Done with that question.
Nick?
Sorry, mate.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Stu?
Dan!
Okay, all three of you, please explain your answers.
You're effeminate. You love yourself.
I'm not really effeminate, and
You are.
You are.
I'm actually. You know
You
what?
went to drama school.
You
Yeah.
did those prancing leaps.
By request.
You could have said no! Or you could have gone, no, we didn't learn that, and lied.
I'm a very honest person. I'm so honest that anyone who knows me truly well, Nick is one of them. Anyone who knows me truly well knows that all of these self-loving and all that bravado is just for show. Inside there is actually a...
Deep hatred of yourself.
There is, actually, yes.
Small
you get-
little boy trying to get out.
A lot of people that haven't come out don't like themselves, and that's part of the depression. Not that they should like themselves, but maybe that's what it is, Dan.
Doesn't that
really
support
hard.
Dan's theory of you, though?
I don't hate myself.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't. I
Like,
think I'm pretty awesome.
only you can know that, that's for sure. But but you do come across as a mopey, miserable bastard after time.
That's because I hate other people.
I hate other people. Anyway, go on. So I did performing arts. I apparently like myself a lot, and I apparently what was the other one? And I'm apparently effeminate, whatever that means.
It means you're woman-like.
Now I know what effeminate means. I just don't know how. I don't know how you think I'm effeminate.
You take a lot of pride in your looks, and the other week when we're saying about if we were to win an Oscar, you'd be best wardrobe, and you took great pride in saying, yes, well I do have the best claws and blah blah blah.
Before we started recording this, you sang a song about yourself.
No, wait,
We
no,
didn't request it.
That's unfair. That's unfair. Yes, I did sing a song about myself. To the tune of Goldfinger, might I add.
Then that's not narcissistic.
Plus,
The
before
purpose of the song was that I was bored, and I was singing that I was bored because I was having to listen to Iron Maiden.
And how did you choose to entertain yourself?
By singing.
Putting it when turned Iron Maiden off,
And then put
What?
Metallica on.
and then videos of.
Yes, I put on a video of myself on YouTube.
Was it just one or was it more than one?
It was two, and I tried to find a third.
Dan,
Yes.
would you play a homosexual in a film?
Depending on the film, yes. If
What
it was
about-
if it was something classy like
What about Brokeback Mountain? That's like the classic kind of.
I've not seen. I can imagine that being. So I'm not homophobic in the slightest, but I imagine that film to be not my taste, and
I think it's a wicked film.
What was that Channel 4 series?
Queer as fuck.
Was it Chris? Might be.
yeah, again, that's something I would not want to be part of. No, if it was something a bit classy, like
like what?
Ketty bumming a boy.
like
A little finger.
you know how we said like how it came as a surprise to you all that Scott Mills is gay.
I knew.
Fine, it came as a surprise to two of you that Scott Mills is gay. Again, all due respect, flamboyant homosexuals. I prefer I prefer flamboyancy like that. I prefer
You prefer Stephen Fry type gays to,
Yes.
to
Louis Spence type gays.
or
Yes.
Graham Norton.
Yeah, well, at least Graham Norton can make you laugh, I suppose. But yeah, it's too.
Is that how it'd get you in bed?
I'm not big on campness.
Oh, Graham.
I don't dig campness. You know,
Yeah, but like surely
yeah,
you know the story of.
I haven't seen. Here's an example.
And they're far from camp.
Right, yeah, I do. Yes, cowboys, exactly. Everyone loves cowboys. All boys at one point when they were younger wanted to be a cowboy. I've got no problem with that.
Perhaps not Native Americans.
Fine, all English boys. Like when we were young boys and we played cowboys and Indians.
I didn't play cowboys and Indians.
No, I didn't.
You played
Everything
cowboys?
was
I
war
played
themed.
cowboys and Indians.
And
I even had a revolver.
And I'm going to say, now were you a cowboy or an Indian?
Well, I had a revolver.
So you were a cowboy.
So
But
no,
you
I was an Indian that stole it from the corpse of a fallen
Dead
cowboy.
cowboy. Why didn't you play cowboys and Indians? What did you play at school?
Did you play Thunderbirds?
If it was anything like that, then it'd be war themed. So it was probably like World War II time.
When you were 5 years old.
You never played.
I know.
No, you
I knew
didn't.
lots about fucking war.
When you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
And all your schoolmates were like, okay, we'll play the Allies. You play
Nobody
the
played.
You played the Axis forces.
Why is that harder
play
to
them.
believe?
You
To
can
be
play
fair, is
that.
it harder to believe that people whose grandparents and shit at that time would have fought in it you would know about that as a kid more than something that happened 150, 200 years ago on another fucking continent?
Well, TV, obviously.
Alright, and there's no fucking films
because-
about World War II, is there not?
Right,
Not that I'd really watched as a kid.
I don't think it's such a stretch that you can
When you were a little
know
boy.
that children play war.
Yeah, but when you were a little boy, cowboys and Indians, westerns, all that kind of stuff is a lot more visually accessible than.
Agreed.
Than
I saw
what?
Commando when I was 6. Cowboys and Indians, there's nothing on Commando.
Did you play Thunderbirds?
No.
I played.
To be fair, Thunderbirds, I never played.
We played Thunderbirds in my school, and I was always Thunderbird 2, the best Thunderbird.
I liked Thunderbirds.
Which
No,
one was it?
Thunderbird 1 was the
The
best.
green
The
one.
giant green one which dropped off.
Oh,
Myriad of different things that only appeared once.
It never-
But
and
most,
also
but most notably,
Thunderbird
third
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he never actually did anything. He just dropped off shit. He was basically a glorified courier of lesser Thunderbirds. Thunderbird 1 was the king. Because he's like the overseer, the lord.
Yeah, but you can't call Thunderbird 2 lesser. The worst Thunderbird by far was Thunderbird 5. It's just a space
Yeah.
station.
What, that dweeb in space?
Yeah.
He's probably
Well,
gone
it's
mental. Fucking jacking off in his uniform because he's that lonely.
Oh, did anyone see...
Please be emergency,
So
please!
really, if we're breaking it down, Thunderbird 1, awesome. Thunderbird 2, courier. Thunderbird 3, bus service to Thunderbird 5.
Yeah. Thunderbird 4 only
Thunderbird
useful...
4,
only
it's alright
useful
if there's
if-
water.
Yeah, only useful if you have peril in water, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, wait, what was the big deal with... What did Thunderbird 1 do?
He was the overseer. He'd go out first and oversee and go, right, okay, we need this.
He was
Come
the
here.
stormtrooper.
He was the daddy. He was Scott. What was his... Scott Tracy, that was his name.
Did we
He
all...
wasn't called Virgil.
Did we all make the mistake of watching the really bad modern remake of the Thunderbirds
No,
film a few years
no.
ago? Did you?
I didn't make the mistake of watching the really bad TV series either.
Whoa!
Yeah, I went there.
You know what? To be honest, I don't remember actually being a big fan.
I loved the
just-
series.
I loved Thunderbirds. I liked Stingray as well. Stingray was cool. Stingray.
Did you watch
I
Captain
didn't
Scarlet?
get Stingray. Oh no, I didn't
Captain
get Captain
Scarlet.
Scarlet. That's the one I didn't get.
Why?
The
'Cause it was
He
mystery.
was
a bit-
immortal in it. He was a badass.
Yeah, but when I watched it, this is when I was really young. I couldn't quite understand what it was about. Like,
Yeah, you were playing games of war, yet you couldn't understand that a guy could not die.
Nazis bad, you kill them.
Nazis bad, you kill them.
I can just see your teachers or your dinner ladies, whoever was in the playground, going, I'm really worried about that Stuart Morrison.
Yeah.
I keep
with,
hearing
his little metal helmet
this
on.
talking about Hitler.
I've got a memory of high school, and it was something. It was like, what was it? Social and something whatever studies. Like we had it on a Thursday for like half an hour.
What
like
kind of
every
middle
week.
class subject is that?
No, they told you about AIDS and things like that. It was always
It
something
was all-
different,
it
and I
kind
retain none of it.
What was
Still don't
this?
know
It kind
shit
of
all
bled
about it.
into-
What
Sorry.
subject was this?
Social.
Social.
You mean
studies.
PSE?
PSE,
That's
that's
the
the one.
one.
What does it stand for?
Personal and Social Education.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm sure it was one of those, and our teacher must have been off, whatever. And it was one of those rare occasions where the headmaster comes in, and it was about the time of the Kosovan War, and he was kind of implying, like discussing about stuff, that it was a bad thing, and he was kind of implying that NATO at the time was doing like too much bombing compared to what they were. And then I stuck my hand up, and I had a discussion about MiGs, and that they've got fighter jets, and we've got fighter jets, and those fighter jets aren't really old; they're like Russian technology, so it's a fair fight. And then I thought, later life, I thought I was about 13, having a discussion with the headmaster about the legalities of war and whether it's right or not.
I remember distinctly.
I'm probably on a watch list then for the rest of my school career.
I remember from school I had in English wrote a story which was possibly slightly too violent and realistic, and my parents were invited in to talk with the teacher to see if I actually wrote it and if what the deal was.
Actually, I remember in year 5 creative writing, I wrote a story and I used the word knobhead, and I got told off for that.
I remember distinctly we used to have assemblies on certain days, and there's this guy called Mr. Kremer, and he was about 6'2", had a bald head, and he was the PE teacher, and he was immensely intimidating, and he'd shout at you really loudly. And I remember one of my mates, he was talking during assembly, and he slammed his hand down on the desk in front of him so loud that everyone was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" But I remember one assembly where he talked about the film Trainspotting, and he was going on this massive rant about how ridiculous this film was and how stupid drugs were and how you should all avoid it and you shouldn't watch this fucking film. The only thing that fucking speech made me do is want to watch this film that I was told so venomously, "You cannot watch this film, it will fuck up your life." I was like, I need to watch this fucking film.
How to make kids not do what you want, tell them not to do something.
On one of those days where it's like you can wear your own clothes and you watch films and shit. I don't know if your schools did that.
Yeah,
Some put St.
Years
Ryan on once at high school. That was good.
The thing is, if you want to be deterred from taking drugs, watch fucking Trainspotting, because it will deter you from taking heroin, because it is a miserable, miserable film. So...
Or go to Scotland.
Or go to Scotland. Hang on, Scotland's a nice place.
Well, parts.
Parts of it, yeah.
Going back to PSE, did you guys ever have any lessons where the teachers were like, right, did you have any lessons where like sometimes they did lessons or they showed videos where certain kids or the parents of their kids who didn't want them to watch this video were asked to leave the room? Did you guys ever have that?
The closest thing was in science. We watched a video of a birth.
Right, thank you. PSE, we watched a birth, okay, and it was a close-up of a woman's lemon squeezing out a melon, and it was just, when you're 12 years old, it's quite a horrible thing to see.
That's quite
How
a
old
horrible
are you now?
thing to see
Can't
at
you just say what
any
you saw?
stage in your life.
What did you say, Lester?
Why did you have to use like the descriptions you gave? Why don't you just say she had a mott out? Oh.
She had a vagine on display.
Because I'm classier than you.
I didn't mistakenly go dogging.
I think it's important though. It's like, I think it's important to learn that kind of shit and learn where like meat comes from.
Yeah,
but kids don't know where the fuck.
Yeah, but
the thing
12 years old. Come on.
I remember.
There's a very hairy baby too, and a very hairy vagina.
Bollocks! If you'd lived on or worked on a farm at that age, that'd be nothing. They'd be like,
yeah, but
okay.
we didn't. We're from mill towns and shit.
Yeah, so
we had a
to be
different
fair, nowadays they should show that more to 12-year-olds.
Yeah, it should be traumatising.
Yes.
Let's take them out strange ways as well. That'll learn.
Skirt straight. Never have sex or commit crimes. Combine the two. On the way to strange ways, put the video of the birth on in the coach.
Did anyone ever see the video about the kid playing on the power lines?
Railway lines. We had railway
lines. There's a power lines one. Fireworks. Yeah. All these
don't light explosives and hold them in your hand until they go off.
Then you see a kid who's really sad and you think, you fucking dickhead.
I'm really sad. Why? I blew my hand off.
Actually,
should have fucking thrown it away then.
You know what? I remember watching Linkin Park at MEN a couple of years ago.
We had a safety video. A railway safety video.
Well, to be fair, only 12-year-olds would go to a Linkin
Instead
Park
of an
gig
opening
in those
band.
days.
We're going to watch a social film.
Fuck you.
I've seen Linkin Park, and I was the tallest person there by a clear 2 feet.
Yeah, I went to see Blink-182
I walked
at MEM.
amongst them like a god amongst ants.
Well, you know what? I don't know what kiddie-friendly version you went to, but the version
This is a download
version I went to, the actual concert I went to, was a very mixed crowd, and a lot of people there older than me.
That's
anyway,
because those kids who I'd seen them with have grown
the
up.
point of the story.
Were they all smoking drugs?
I don't recall. Anyway, the point of this story was that obviously I had to get on the Metrolink on the way home, otherwise I would never travel on the Metro. And they had, they've got those
It's
little...
too middle class for trams.
Anyway, they've got those posters on the top of the trams, the little rectangular posters. The other poster, it was in November I went watching them, and it was obviously bonfire firework night time, and there was a poster about... don't play with fireworks, whatever, and it shows this chav with his hood up and like a horrible burn on his face, and the proper miserable, scowly chav facial expression. And he just looked at him and thought, "What a dickhead!" He didn't care if he got exploded by a firework. That's bad advertising.
Exploded.
I wish they were. I'd go down that children's hospital and laugh at them and go, "Fucking idiots."
Do you want some burn ointment? You can't have any.
And they just lick the burn ointment out the jar and go, "Fuck you, fuck you."
Cut to 2 hours later, you're in the bed next to him.
Vomiting.
Worth it!
Worth it. No, if you're going to be a retard like that, if you're going to be
I think
stupid...
it forms part of natural selection.
Yeah, it's natural selection, so I don't feel sorry for people like that. I remember seeing this video on YouTube of this stupid kid being filmed. In fact, there's so many of these videos. I've just thought of another example. There's a stupid kid kicking away at this brick slabbed wall, and it's like bowing a bit, and then he puts his foot through it, and the brick above clamps down on his foot, and he's there going, "Ah!" And then the camera stops as they've run to his help.
Yeah.
Saw another one the other day. There's these 4 or 5 knobheads who are probably 13 years old in their hoodies. They're on they're in a playground, and they've got one of those stupid fucking scooters on the roundabout, and they put the back wheel on it, and there's 2 of these dickheads on this roundabout, and it spins around super quick, and one of them just catapults off. I thought, I really hope he got brain damage. I really did.
Isn't that...
How are we going to learn, Dan?
It's a bit of it.
How are we going to learn?
Extreme.
No, it isn't.
It's not extreme.
There was a video I watched.
They'll never do it again if he got brain damage.
He wouldn't
be able to do more
he
things.
he wouldn't do a lot of things.
Got to the toilet.
It depends how brain damage. Maybe if he lost the left side of his body.
Quadrispased.
On a life plug.
Yeah, if it was quadrispaz.
We're going into dark territory here. I saw a video a couple of years ago of these idiots in America, or Canada, wherever, somewhere in North America, where it's
Again, Canada.
Just
extension of
Stop
America.
shitting on Canada with your hate.
No, because I only say this because it was a very snowy location, so it was clearly somewhere in North America.
Clearly.
Or Sweden.
Except they had North American accents. So.
Tourists.
Yeah.
What? No, it was clearly anyway. These kids, these teenagers, were on a snowy covered railway track, and they poured kerosene or some kind of petrol, or whatever, on one of the wooden bars. What do they call the wooden beams under
Sleepers.
it? A sleeper. They covered a sleeper in some kind of fuel and set it on fire.
Was it in the bat signal? That would have been epic.
No, it was just they literally just the whole beam. There was no prejudice towards this beam. The entire beam was set alight. Anyway, what's the word? Pillar? No,
Sleeper.
Sleeper. Thank you. The entire sleeper was set afire. Anyway, this teenager runs through it, setting his legs on fire, setting his jeans on fire, and then he.
Please say a train came and killed him.
Well, no, but
How
then.
can my day get any worse?
I'm gonna go.
Well, he then gets down. He gets down on his hands and knees and tries rolling himself out in the snow. Except the fire doesn't go out, and the video cuts off with him screaming in agony as all his friends try to bat the flames out. And yeah, let's just say he won't be
Have you
doing that
seen
again.
the video? Drunk American college student who keeps repeatedly setting his hair on fire
Yeah, I've seen that.
and then lighting Doritos from his hurt and then eating them.
You sound like an idiot.
What the fuck? What would possess you? No matter how drunk you get. I got pretty drunk last night. At no point did I think, you know what, top this evening off.
It's
Setting my head on
simple attention. Look at me, everyone.
Yeah.
Speaking of the bat signal, that was reminding me about a funny joke in terms of The Dark Knight Rises. You know how they've only got so much time to save Gotham before it explodes? It still has fucking time to go up a big tower, specifically paint it in fuel that will resemble the bat signal, then creep across this fucking frozen river without it breaking, just to appear and go, light the flare. And then, obviously, sets this big fucking bat signal light. Why not just go into Gotham, find this fucking bomb, and then piss off?
Yeah,
Jim Gans, that looks really nice.
Yeah.
How fuck it? We could have been killed, you dick.
But the film was so good, it doesn't matter.
I love that film. I love it to bits. But having listened to a Kevin Smith podcast where they just go on about a lot of the plot holes. It's not that I can't.
Kevin Smith, master of the narrative.
Also,
I'm only saying. You can point out plot holes. I'm not a fucking writer, but if I can point something out, it doesn't mean it's any less valid.
I'll tell you what you can also point out, specifically about Kevin Smith films, just looking at them, the big streaks of shit that are all over them. That's just my point.
Well made, sir.
Well,
Red States.
It's one of those... Red State's fucking awesome.
You know what I liked? I liked the photo that you showed everyone of you, me, and our friend Chris in the audience, front row audience of the Kevin Smith gig we went to. And...
was that you pretending to laugh?
If Stu pointed out, I'm not laughing, I'm grimacing.
No one forced you to.
Chris Reed's just looking down.
But the thing is, I love The Dark Knight Rises. It's definitely one of my two favourite films that I've seen this year. The other one being The Hobbit, for the record. And, no, fuck off.
The Hobbit has...
Let me finish my point. But as much as I love The Dark Knight Rises, yeah, of course there's flaws in it. Like you might ask when he escapes that prison in the middle of nowhere, wherever it is, you might ask...
I've got the answer for that.
What, how he got back to Gotham?
Yeah, because it's Bruce fucking Wayne.
Exactly, okay? It doesn't matter. If the film's great, it doesn't matter, you know?
There's plenty of plot holes in it, but to be fair, you can overlook them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You know?
I can happily watch it, and hopefully I'll be getting it for Christmas.
And remember, all the listeners who think that The Avengers is the best film ever, it isn't.
Pete.
Avengers is awesome, though.
Yeah, it was good.
Awesome.
It is.
It wasn't awesome. It was good. For an ensemble film, it was very good, but it wasn't...
You've never been a Marvel reader, though, really.
No, but that doesn't... I believe you should view it with just unbiased eyes, objectivity. And to be fair, the story was incredibly basic. Scary aliens coming to Earth, repelled by heroes.
But it's a superhero film, it's going to be.
Yeah, well, and then you look at The Dark
just
Knight, which is incredibly complicated and intricate, and a character piece more than anything. Whereas Avengers was just like...
But that's the point between Marvel and DC. DC generally goes more adult orientated, whereas Marvel's very much
child orientated.
Well, I think Nicola...
Not necessarily childish, but it's more open to look at all the crazy shit that's happening.
That was a kid-friendly film.
Well, I think Nick will agree with me on... I think Nick will agree with me on this. I've seen 2 Joss Whedon films at the cinema this year. Cabin in the Woods was better than...
Cabin in the Woods was fantastic.
I've still not seen that yet.
Better than The Avengers?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favourite film of the year, or one of them. Now, Hobbit, I take a bit of... Right, I did enjoy The Hobbit. It was good, but it was way too long.
You know what, at the time, zoomed by for me.
I was very conscious of how long I'd been there. I was like, this is... There was so much they could have chopped out of that.
And there's another film to come.
Another 2 films to come.
They're doing it as a trilogy.
Yeah, even though it's only 1 book.
Right, no, right, yeah.
Robin.
Yeah, they've already added loads of shit to it.
Time out. It's not just incorporating The Hobbit, it's all the appendices of The Lord of the Rings, encompassing all the stuff that went on in the background, which is subject matter that gets covered in The Lord of the Rings, and it's the 60-year period between that and Fellowship of the Ring, linking the two together.
They are extending it, and they're extending it for one reason, and that is
money!
Would you either A, them rush the story?
I'd rather them tell it properly.
They do tell it properly.
But
they've
have to,
added to it.
but they have to pad it out.
Yeah, but the stuff they've added to it is stuff from the appendices. Okay, Gandalf's little mission, which will be further explored in the second one.
What about the Pale Orc?
Right. The Pale Orc. Yeah, the Pale Orc has been added, just like Lord of the Rings. They added Lurtz in the Fellowship and Gothmog in Return of the King because the enemy needs a face. So I'm all for the Pale Orc, but the fact
I
is,
thought the Pale Orc was one of the highlights of the film.
the thing is, right?
But
The thing
they've
is,
added
right,
it.
there are 13 dwarves all vying for screen time. Okay, unless you want to rush the job, you need proper character development, and and how do you do that? You make a long film.
But right, I didn't particularly enjoy the Hobbit book. I thought it was very childish, and to be fair, this isn't as dark as Lord of the Rings.
It's not meant to be.
It's not meant to be, but they still sort of position it to be in the same sort of tone as Lord of the Rings, and
No, they don't.
Can I ask a really
Of
dumb
course there is.
question?
No, they don't.
yeah,
The boot release, which came first? Was it The Hobbit, then Lord of the Rings, or was Lord of the Rings?
pretty sure it was the Hobbit first, wasn't
It was The Hobbit, then there was a 20-year period before the Lord of the Rings came out, and then by the time he'd written Lord of the Rings, he realised he needed to rewrite some of The Hobbit.
There's two songs.
I'm a
in
massive
it.
Middle Earth geek. You could probably ask me.
There's two songs in it, and I'm thinking
Is there a dance number?
songs that are in the book.
yeah, but the songs in Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, but there's songs almost every other page in the Lord of the Rings.
yeah, and thankfully they were cut out.
Well, you know what?
What wasn't cut out was the 17
endings
endings
full of
of...
faggy songs. I would have hated that trilogy.
The book was I couldn't
I know,
get
I've
past
heard
the first
about it.
book because it was that fucking puerile, and there's two songs at the very beginning of The Hobbit, and I instantly face palmed at the first one because it's not like the advert song where it's the guy who's trying to be Aragorn but's only a fucking midget.
Because just
singing.
imagine it, all this cinema goes just here.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that?
No,
know-
it's them singing as they're clearing up, and you think this could have been cut.
Character development.
Pardon?
Character development.
What they're singing?
Yep.
They could have just cut it.
Well, they didn't. So
I know because
I'll deal with it.
because he
Deal with it.
is way too.
He's
low.
dealing with it. He's exposing his rage on podcast.
And I don't know. I just didn't care for any of them. I didn't care for any of the characters, and
I didn't care for any of the Avengers. I didn't care for any of the Expendables.
Are you just saying that for Gareth?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
yeah, it does.
What
No,
films do you like?
yeah.
I didn't like...
Wait, no, the
Your
Aven-
mum does not love you.
The Expendables is now. I like Sly Stallone, okay, and Rocky is a well-written film, okay, but the Avengers, Expendables is a terrible written film, bad character development,
There is no character development.
a very mediocre film.
Well, that's
the only
deliberate.
thing,
That's
the-
deliberate.
Yeah.
no, it's not deliberate.
Yes, it is.
No, because it clearly takes us. I appreciate the sequel, which I haven't seen. I appreciate the sequel acknowledges that it's a bit of a Mickey take. It's dealing with a lot of 80s stars, but the first one takes itself very seriously.
There are bits where it does take itself seriously. The whole scene with Finger chap out a wrestler doing his
Mickey
monologue, that was shit. And yeah, I will agree. The second one just goes, well, that not even try to put any kind of fucking plot in this. There is a bit of an attempt, but even Expendables 1, that knows exactly what it is, and that is, let's get everybody who was in the 80s action film scene together in a film, as many as we can get, and blow shit up. And then Expendables 2 is that times itself
With Chuck Norris.
with Chuck Norris.
Wait, did you? Let's use a strong word like love. Did you love the Expendables?
What, the first one?
Yeah.
No.
Right. So why?
I was a little bit disappointed with the Expendables, but that's because I had purely very, very lofty expectations about it. But it was very slow at the beginning and had too many plot elements in it, which were shit.
Yeah, there wasn't enough action.
But then in the last half hour or whatever it is, it fucking pulled it back.
Yeah.
And Expendables 2 is like all of the last half hour of that stretched over 90 minutes.
I stand by what I say. Any one of them, all of them, could have been killed in the Expendables, and I wouldn't have cared. 'Cause I didn't care about any of the
That's
characters.
fair
But that's
enough,
not your childhood, not your scene.
No, aye.
What?
It's not that at all. Okay, it's not because
What's best in life?
that Crom quote.
The film he's not seen. He's not seen Commando.
No, right, no.
Which Arnold
No,
Schwarzenegger
you are,
films have you
you are,
seen?
no, you're twisting this around, you're making it into something it's not. We are judging that film on its own merit, not because of who's in it. The characters were poorly written, it wouldn't have made a difference if any one of them, or all of them, got killed.
What I've took umbrage with is
The
I've said
Expendables.
it's a film that's like speaks to our childhood of being action films and kids in the 80s, and then you went whoa whoa whoa.
Right, what do you
Meaning
get?
that you're implying that you were also an 80s action film fan, yet you've seen
No.
probably 3.
First of all, probably 3 is more accurate than none, so fuck you.
Fuck me, fuck you, piece of shit.
Secondly, again, don't judge it by the stars in it. We're judging it by its own film, its own merit. Okay, it was a bad plot, bad characters. The whole side story with Jason One Trick Pony Lee. Not Jason Lee. I like Jason Lee. Jason One Trick Pony Statham and his love interest. Man, that was pointless. It was.
No, it wasn't, because if not, for nothing else, we got the pitch perfect line of him stabbing the basketball.
Again,
And
you
saying
know.
that, I can't remember the line now. So memorable, I forgot it.
It's just, you know.
What's wrong with Jason Statham?
He's a one trick pony.
I like Jason Statham.
He's a one trick pony.
He's a British actor who has
You should
made
be
a
supporting
career in a predominantly American market.
And he does good films.
Yeah.
Oh,
He does daft films.
He's done some terrible films.
He's done some fantastic films.
Yeah,
Transporter.
he's also done some serious terrible.
Transporter is gack.
I like Transporter.
Transporter's a terrible
And
film.
I like Transporter 2. Transporter 3 is shit.
It is on no level near the perfection of action that is Crank.
I prefer the Transporter films
you're
than
a
the
fool.
Crank
I've
films.
got
Crank-
Crank. I've not actually watched
Crank
it yet.
is one of the
I feel
best
that.
action films that has ever been made, and no one ever appreciates it for what it is, and that's because it's so incredibly clever that no one gets it. It is. It works at so many levels, and that people are like, oh, it's Jason Statham in a fucking film.
Snatch is a fantastic film. Okay, in the Name of the King is not a fantastic film.
Alright, well, but you can go through Robert De Niro's
No, we have
filmography
we have
and go, amazing, shit.
We had this conversation on one of our very early podcasts. There's not a single actor in the world who's not done a shit
Right
film.
then.
However, again, this is not about the actors and their own individual merit. The Expendables as a film, and it has some actors I like in it. I like the actor David Zayas, who plays the Colonel character in it.
It had the Nogueira brothers in it.
Yep.
I liked the
He
Colonel.
doesn't even know.
I liked David Zayas. I liked his character. I can't remember his real name, but the guy who played Sal Maroni in The Dark Knight. I liked him in it. He was the big.
Eric Roberts.
Thank you. Super tangerine skin.
He always plays the same dickhead character.
He does. However, it's a very mediocre film, and again, any character could have died in it. And I'd be like,
What's your view on action films, though?
The thing is, right, you know why I enjoyed Expendables enough that I want to watch the second one. I said it's a very mediocre film. It is, but if you watch it with your brain turned off, which I did, it was a very watchable
Well, that's
film.
how
I think
you watch action films.
exactly. I think a good action film is a film that you can enjoy with your brain turned off, and it is very hard for me to enjoy a film without critiquing everything. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough that I want to watch the sequel, which everyone says is better than the first one.
I kind of agree with Dan. I was disappointed in Expendables, and to be honest, I don't think an action film has to be so stupid that you have to switch your brain off. There's plenty of action films that are clever, that engage you, that keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you guessing and don't make you realise you're watching a film.
Expendables is both films are homage films.
But I feel you can have a homage film that is still its own entity.
Yeah.
Like Kill Bill. Kill Bill's a fucking homage to Kung
Well,
Fu
Kill Bill
and
2 is
anime.
absolute wank.
Yeah, but Kill
And
Bill.
the first one is arguably shit.
I disagree with you entirely, and I think a lot of people would.
Well,
But still, the point is that it's still its own entity. Yet it's still sort of paying homage to a specific style of cinema. But it's still distinctly its own movie. It's not just let's get these people together and crank out a movie.
Also
Another
directed
chap's
by a
film,
very clever director.
Yeah.
But that Expendables isn't.
I still feel you can make a film pretty with a very simple. Dan said Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard's a very simple story
Good plot. You care about the
Good
characters.
plot. You care about the characters, and the directing's not like with like a flourish like Tarantino does. It's very economic. It just does what it says on the tin. And
I think this is more a case a bit like that Marvel film, Avengers. Like that's a dumb film full of set pieces. If you want more storyline and shit, you watch those individual characters' films.
No, but I felt the characterisation in Avengers was really good. Every character had his little moment. The only bit that I thought was really lacking in Avengers was the overarching story, and that it was so weak and so shallow that you just... And also, you of course realise, none of these people are going to ever die or be in any form of peril, except poor Agent Coulson.
Yeah, the thing is, as well...
Who's come back to life in traditional comic book form is getting a series, The Shield.
Oh, really?
We'll see if that ever happens.
I like
happening.
Agent Coulson, so that'd be interesting.
I liked it as well, but
the thing
it's not a leading actor.
The thing is, and again, you will totally agree with me on this because we've had this conversation before, another flaw of the Avengers, it's not so much their fault, but massive flaw of the Avengers is that the Hulk, Thor and Iron Man are incredibly overpowered compared to Black Widow, Hawkeye and Captain America.
Yeah, like during the film at the end in the big action sequence, you've got Captain America,
who's just giving orders.
What's-her-face, and then bow and arrow guy on the ground, basically taking on like ones and twos of like the gribbly aliens. And then you've got fucking Thor, Hulk and Iron Man. Hulk and Iron Man.
It's the northern one, he's wearing a flat cap.
Like flying about in the sky, killing fucking legions of them without a care in the world, and you think...
Yeah, and Tony Stark's going, I'm bringing the party to you. Which is,
and then you've got like Captain America going, what can we do about this? Black Widow woman's like, I'm really kind of shit at everything, and then bow and arrow guy with his fucking Legolas quiver.
The thing is, right, I like Captain America, so I'm glad they made him the leader.
Yeah, I did as well.
But Hawkeye is a great archer. He's no Legolas, but he's a great archer. But yeah, you got Black Widow, who's just got a pistol.
What's her skill? Apart from
sex.
Master Spy.
Master Spy. She dresses in black.
The one.
Master Spy. He was like, hang on. If I'm going to pick out a spy in a lineup, there's her looks like a regular person. Then there's this woman in this skin tight black suit with guns.
Well, what was she wearing at the beginning when she was being interrogated?
I thought that was all. It was all. Again, every character had their moment in that film, and they all had good moments.
Plus, the only thing they didn't do with
her powers were shit.
Yeah, but also that's
she
the
doesn't
problem.
have powers.
Which is shit.
It's grounding though.
Yeah, but that's also a problem. That is her best moment in the film, the interrogation. That's her best film, and that's her best moment, and she peaks after that. That's it. She's redundant for the rest of the film.
Yeah, and I can still never buy a woman like her battering some hard Russian guys. Never.
However, Scarlett, if you're listening, I think you're awesome.
I feel like
they didn't use the
abused
gun bracelet things with her, because that's one of the things in the comics.
Have you heard that they've arrested the guy who posted the naked pictures online?
So you're right, absolutely. Shouldn't go hacking other people's emails.
Should be fucking taking photos of yourself naked and then giving them to people.
No.
That should be the law.
So you're saying you shouldn't be reading other people's messages without the consent?
Yeah.
Right.
Dan.
No, come on. Getting an Xbox Live message is not the same as a personal email.
You impersonated me actually as well. That could be like
that's
fraud.
Just for listeners, Dan earlier noticed that Stu had a message on Xbox Live, and he himself took the controller, opened the message, and then responded as Stu. What happens if that message has been like a deeply personal thing, like a deeply personal conversation that Stu had been having?
Mm-hmm. Via Xbox Live.
The fact that
the most efficient means of communication in the world.
The fact that Stu was watching me doing it, I think if it had been truly personal, he'd go, no, don't read it! So,
it could have been
dumbstruck
in disbelief at what he was witnessing.
I disagree.
What a tremendous breach of confidentiality.
For all of Stu's many flaws, he can be quick-witted, so I think he would have at least had it. I think he would have at least had enough wits about him to stop me if it had been that personal.
But still,
doesn't make it right.
Still, Dan, doesn't make it right.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say? In which country?
You know.
In which country is that?
Do you want the country or the specific?
Guatemala. They say, you know.
You know what they say in Guatemala.
What?
They say 2 wrongs don't always make a right, but every now and again they do. So yay.
What a flawed
That'll
country
be
that is.
remembered forever.
It is actually a flawed country.
What? Guatemala?
Yeah.
We're going to get into a big discussion about Guatemala now.
No.
Maybe another day.
Another day, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully part 2 of conspiracy theories
Oh.
with Stu.
We've-
Stu's Corner.
We met someone last night.
We're getting a guest, potentially.
Why, are they conspiracy theorists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like a theorist, as in...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they
What?
just someone who has a theory, or...
No.
Are
Like
they a
fan
member?
of conspiracy theories?
Alright.
Even goes more extreme to what I read about. Not believe, but he said he reads or listens to David Icke. That's a bad
I
sign.
don't know who David Icke is.
David Icke used to play in goal for
Oh,
Derby
him?
County.
Him, I
Then
know
his
this
brain
guy.
snapped
And now he thinks the royal family are space lizards and shit.
Space
I
Lizard.
don't know who that is.
He's an
Oh, well,
old
YouTube.
footballer. I remember seeing him on like GMTV,
Was it
like in the
Morgan?
90s.
Was it
when he's
Morgan
talking
something
about
like
that
And he comes on a talk show wearing a shell suit and starts spouting off his theories with complete straight face
Yeah,
honesty.
completely into
And
it.
everyone's just laughing at him.
Basically saying that the royal family and like the
Shape-shifting
elites are all
lizards.
lizards and shit. Like he's watched V too many times. I think that perceived kind of
He's a big figure though. He
Well,
has
on
big
the-
tours in America and shit. Like in this country, because we know his background. I don't know if they know that he used to be a footballer, and then he's saying this ridiculous shit. If he were just some guy who said the ridiculous shit, I wouldn't find him as amusing. But I like the background to his story of being a footballer,
On
a goalkeeper.
Netflix, there's one of his things that we thought we'd watch for a laugh. Where is it? The debating hall at Oxford. Thought, this will be good for a laugh. But it was packed out and completely deadpan and serious.
Yeah.
It was like, this isn't as funny as I thought it would be. It's slightly disturbing.
The thing is, because I'm sure he has sort of inverted commas facts, but like, I mean, you watch Angels and Demons the other night, and it's the same with the Da Vinci Code and books like that. If you're clever enough and you can pull together, there's enough coincidences in history and stuff, and that you can pull together information and you can tailor it to your own special beliefs if you want. Like I was reading today about we've all survived the latest apocalypse, you know, and how that there's still fucking cults out there that said, oh, the world's going to end, and then it didn't, and then yet they still exist.
To be fair, to survive an apocalypse has to happen in the first place.
Exactly. Well, you know, how do we know it didn't? I didn't know it was like this tiniest little blip somewhere.
France '98, the World Cup. Argentina's goalkeeper, I think his name was Carlos Roa, thought that the world was going to end in year 2000 and was like making preparations for it, selling his shit.
Yeah, I've read that. People giving away all their money and all that stuff.
No,
and
there's
then it
been-
doesn't end.
He was that worried about it, he still went to France '98.
There's been loads of people.
Well, you might as well. If you've got something on, there's no point in cancelling
Yeah, I suppose.
plans.
There's been loads of people who haven't bought anyone Christmas presents, thinking determined, convinced that the world was going to end. There was, on the actual day of the 21st, there was all the people in Mexico, you know, stood outside the old Mayan temples holding hands, always expecting something to happen. And
Were you secretly opening it then, so you didn't have to buy anyone any presents?
see, again, I find that very hypocritical coming from you.
No, because Dan would be there going, I want my fucking presents.
That's true. I happen to have bought all my presents. I might have to rebuy one tomorrow if it doesn't arrive in the post. It's still not arrived yet.
Who's it for?
I was reading,
Future brother-in-law.
Stu, today that there was people in China. There was rumours about if on the eve of the apocalypse they climbed up this specific hill, they'd be carried away to safety by aliens.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Superb.
Reminding me of you, because I can imagine you being up there like ringleading them.
With your tinfoil hat on.
With your tinfoil hat on and like an luminous yellow jacket, directing people.
How
I'm
old,
not that safety conscious.
Stu? How old would you have been during the whole Millennium Bug thing?
17.
So what was your take on that? Were you thinking that technology
No.
was going to fail, or
I
Secretly
remember it
disappointed
vividly at the
players
time.
were
Like
drivers.
there was some reasonable arguments about shit breaking and not working.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was the end of the world.
Nah, you had to be fooled.
There was the thoughts about Like, would your bank account get wiped?
Computers
Like
stuff
that?
suddenly stopping, and I'm sure there was a few bugs, but not to the extent that people sort of suspected there would be.
No.
Like people were saying fucking airplanes are going to fall out of the sky and stuff. It's like, no.
It's always hard
to
to.
Guy, where they did literally just stop in mid-air and fall completely down.
I suppose it's hard to get people scared and following this on New Year's Eve when everyone's getting pissed.
Yeah.
Like, everyone be scared, no fucking it. Grabbing tits, pissing in alleys, and vomiting if you feel.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the millennium. I was 18, so it was like the peak.
You can't have been 18.
No, you were 17.
Was it 17? Well, 17, 18 was the peak of my part.
Oh, no. It was.
He's older.
No. Because we
You were
finished school
18.
in 99.
Yeah.
So I would have had my 17th birthday in October in
Okay.
99.
Yeah. So boom!
Yeah, I was
mathsed you all.
I had
I was 18 as well.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
You can't have been.
Why? We were born in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
18.
Right, okay, I guess I was 14.
1982.
Alright, I'd have been 14.
So I partied the fuck out of the New Year's that year. I can't remember.
I celebrated. We spent New Year's Eve 1999 in a lovely hotel in Liverpool. It was nice.
I just got fucking shit faced somewhere.
But again, I was 14. I wasn't really in a position to go to a raging party. And
Any plans this year, gentlemen?
I peaked at the millennium. Every New Year.
This is
will not.
I'll never top this.
We'll never top it. So I've not really bothered since.
I generally, as a rule, don't care for New Year's Eve. I don't like the social stigma that goes with it. The people who start planning it like over a month in advance. I don't really care for that because next thing you know, it's like a week till New Year's Eve and you still don't know what you're doing, and people almost make you look, stupid or loserish or antisocial for not having any plans. I just don't really care for that. I love Christmas. Christmas is a big deal, but New Year's Eve is anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's too many knobheads. Too many knobheads out.
Do you remember the New Year's Eve we nearly died?
Was that when we ate pizza with sleet on it?
Sleet on it, yeah.
I thought that was going to be like a really interesting story there.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Lee
Again, anticlimactic.
thinking we were going to get a cab back. But they set off at about 12:30 because there was only me and him went out, and he copped off with a bird with prison tattoos.
Was that night?
Yeah. And I was...
Wow, she approached a woman?
Hmm?
You approached a woman?
I bet she had
I don't know
prison
what
tats.
yeah,
She
probably.
approached him.
Yeah, probably.
one step away from being clubbed over the head and his lifeless body being danced with on
This
the
is
stage.
Lee, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out on a night out in Lee?
Is Lee around Wigan area?
It's in the borough of Wigan.
I know. Probably closest I've been to a night out there is a night out in Wigan, so no.
And we decided, right, time for it to go home. It had been snowing. We're going to
Goddamn
get a
car.
cab.
I'm making a drink.
But it's like, no, we'll walk it. It'll be okay. Not wearing coats, just wearing shirts. And it's a 2-mile walk home.
Yeah.
And then it started snowing. It's like, oh, this isn't too bad. Then sleet. And we got halfway home, decided to sit at a bus shelter and manically laugh. Because we're going to die soon, aren't we?
Stage 3 hypothermia kicking in.
This reminds me of the time you thought you were going to die, Stu, because you had to walk 3 miles.
Yeah. That's when I sent Carl the death text.
The death text.
I was that drunk and cold that I was only at Everton Cemetery, so I'd practically made it home, but I'd just in my mind given up. I was that cold and drunk, and I sent a text only to Carl, so what that says about him I don't know, and then it was just gibberish, and
I remember
something
seeing
about that I was going to die, and that was the only bit that was legible. Just letters. I'm going to die, or something like that. letters.
I remember being on the phone too when you walked back from Bolton to Allerton. I was on the phone for three quarters of an hour talking him through because it was a lot lonely. Like, why don't you get the bus, Stu? I'll get a cab. No, it's cheaper. I've got booze as well, so it's alright.
So Dan, as a non-believer in New Year's Eve or non-celebrated, does that mean you don't do New Year's resolutions or anything like that?
Well, I do and I don't. The thing is, The thing is, I've been to some crappy New Year's Eves before, you know. That's why, again, New Year's Eve is not a big deal for me. The last awesome New Year's Eve I had, last year was actually very good. I went to a fantastic party last year. That was really good.
I can't remember what the hell I did last year.
Did that one last year, really enjoyed that. I had a fantastic one New Year's Eve 2008, that was a fantastic one. But, you know, there's been too many bland ones, too many where I've gone to someone's house and it's just actually been very boring. And New Year's Eve, do you remember when I randomly came in HMV the start of one year with a shaved head? Do you remember my shaved head?
I know that you've done it, but I can't remember what you look like. Other than a crack addict. Or
Yeah, but
someone who's got severe AIDS.
So I knew. There's lines, man.
What line have I crossed?
We might have someone with AIDS listening. Anyway,
Then they'll know what you look like. Sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry, potential AIDS victim.
I think
Apparently, it's very manageable now.
if we do have someone with AIDS listening,
And
you've
that's
got
the worst thing.
bigger
that's happened,
things
yeah.
on the mind than me referencing that you look like you have AIDS.
it's a very unpleasant thing to say to someone, though, is it?
It's all saying that your mum doesn't love you.
Yeah.
I never
Potentially
said,
more damaging.
Never said that your mum doesn't love you. You said that my mum loves me.
No, you did
No,
say
you-
that my mum doesn't love me.
I don't remember saying that.
You did.
I remember saying.
Well,
that,
we're going to listen and we're going to find out, aren't we?
you know,
I'll
what?
start it off. I'll reenact the. I'll put the quote at the
I
beginning.
did like that at the end of the. I did like that during the last podcast. Actually, there was a post-production recording done by Phil,
Post-edit, yeah.
where he proved me to be mistaken about something. Anyway,
completely serendipitous as well. As soon as the ending of that edit, Dan says, "I don't recall hearing sleigh bells. Does anyone else?" It's like completely pitch perfect and then meant to do.
New Year's Eve 2006, I remember shaving my head at a party, because the party was that dull and boring, shaving my head sounded like a fun thing to do.
That is the fucking actions of a madman.
Yeah, this party shit.
Let's get this shit started!
I bet it was
Get
just...
our haircut off!
No, it would have been stood in the middle of the room just going really slowly like that. And then
Staring at people.
there's someone going, Dan! And like, nothing.
It's kind of like the scene from Full Metal Jacket.
But there you go, so I don't know, New Year's Eve is just...
So,
you know,
what's your resolution this year?
see, I never stick... You know, I always think that resolutions are meant to be broken, so my resolutions are all the same. Stop swearing, not going to happen. You know, be nice to people, that's
Not going to happen.
just try and be patient, not going to
Not gonna
happen. So just, you know, yeah. I don't
It's
know.
like
your New
something
Year's-
simple, like fill your car more often.
Yeah.
That will happen.
Look where you're parking.
Become a megastar.
Not last
that could happen,
New
that will happen.
Year's. Last New Year's was pretty good.
Continue to turn down roles in soap operas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That will be
keep that up.
successful.
Not
You know
last New Year's. New Year's before. Went to yours. And what did we do? It's I've got Commando on Blu-ray. Oh, let's have a see what it's like. Kept it on.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's how we saw the New Year and watching Arnie shoot.
Oh, I thought that was your resolution to watch Commando. That's a successful resolution.
Worst New Year's Eve I've ever had was New Year's Eve 2009, which is the only New Year's Eve I've celebrated in Bolton town on a night out. And
Does that mean you came to mine?
Oh, no, scratch that. It's the first time. I've celebrated New Year's Eve twice in Bolton town, rather. And I
Both
just,
poor, aren't they?
I just don't dig it. I've been invited this year to celebrate in Manchester, and all I'm thinking of already before it's even New Year's Eve, I'm already thinking it's going to be too busy. I'm not going to be able
How do
to
we get home?
How do I get home? Am I really going to be able to get that drunk? Just that already sounds like a massive headache.
I went last year. I spent the night in Manchester. Went to Fab Cafe, and it wasn't overly busy.
But did you get to stay in Manchester? Were you put up in a
Yeah,
hotel? See, that's the thing. I'd be going back home. I'm not into that.
I had an apartment hotel, which was really, really nice.
So have you not got any resolutions this year?
Not particularly.
I've never
Just
said-
things I want to. I've started, and in light of recent events, kind of stopped, and like I started drinking more in the week again, and I've stopped doing that. started exercising a bit more, and then that's kind of stopped. So
I think you
it's
should.
not necessarily a resolution, more as something I've not done. Or I'm going to give up X.
I
It's just
think.
get back to being a good boy again,
I think on New Year's Eve you should start smoking,
and then give it up.
and then resolve to give up smoking. Yeah.
Then you'll save yourself loads of money.
What if he can't kick the habit and he's needlessly
Fucking done.
got hooked on cigarettes just to make a shitty little personal joke with himself? That's about the worst reason to start smoking. Right.
I'd love that. 24 hours of smoking and you're addicted, and just like now you hate me. Excellent.
What about you, Stu?
I don't set them. I never have.
No? Never interested yourself? Why don't you set one this year?
I don't understand the concept of it.
Well,
No one keeps them.
I'm sure some people do.
Yeah, but they'll keep New Year's. They'll keep resolutions that are doable. You know, they'll keep resolutions like, I'm going to see Doreen down the street more often. You know, it's like simple. It's doable stuff like that.
Everyone wants to see Doreen down the street more often.
She makes a mean pie.
Cream.
That's a little less obvious than the poontang pie I was going to reference.
Which, by the way, I looked into what chipped beef is.
The Urban Dictionary.
I did. I went straight on Urban Dictionary, and now I know.
So I'll ask you again. Chip beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nick, New Year's resolutions.
It's quite simple. I'd like to resolve to crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and then hear the lamentation of their women.
That is good.
That is good. That's what's best in life, Dan.
Do you not remember when that was my text notification noise?
Yeah.
Like, I used to put my phone on top of the locker at work, and then you just hear Annie barking it.
Go on! What is best in life?
I remember annoyingly, someone had a message tone, a text message tone, that the text message tone was an entire long song, and if you were on dinner in the staff room, you had to put
Kenny
up...
used to have that.
Yeah, you had to put up with that, a 4-minute crap pop song whilst you were watching something on the TV, and just for one text message. Yeah, that annoyed me.
I do miss that element of HMV where you could take anything off the shelf and go upstairs and watch it.
Yeah.
It was that. I did watch some
You know
classic
what,
films.
right, to be fair, you know, we've bitched a lot about HMV in some of these podcasts. It had its perks. It definitely had its plus points. And it brought us together. Isn't that nice and mushy?
Yeah.
Hunting temps. That's what I enjoyed.
But you never...
I did.
What, when none of us were there?
He was there. She went to temp though.
Who are you
She
referring
was
to?
youth training scheme.
Who are you referring to?
Hannah.
Oh, you, the girl you were seeing when I started.
Wasn't really seeing her.
The girl who was fired for stealing a porn film called Cocks and Throbbers. Yes.
Who's also affectionately known as Klepto.
Yeah.
Klepto and Son.
No, this is the ironic thing. When I started HMV, I was seeing a girl called Hannah, and I met Stu who was seeing a girl called Hannah, and I remember thinking, yeah, I've got something in common with someone, and yeah.
That'd be a fantastic introductory conversation.
We could be friends.
I asked you.
My girlfriend's called Hannah. Remarkable.
Yeah, so should we go for a drink?
You know what? My very first day at HMV, I was asked for a drink after work, and I said, I don't know, I've already arranged a lift home, and they were like, right, fine, there's a man. I was like, no, I'll come, I wanted to fit in, you know, and we all went to varsity and hung out in the beer garden, and little did I know that I would then be there for 3 years and 10 months.
I've been at my place of work for 6 years. That was a long month contract. I fucking took it.
If I get to March next year, I'll have been at the PPA for 3 years and 10 months, which means if I stay till April next year, I'll have been there longer than my tenure at HMV. That's quite depressing.
Then quit.
It's not, quitting isn't an option. There needs to be a better job on the table. I can't just leave for another job, you know. It has to be a step, has to be a climb up the ladder. I had an informal job interview a few weeks ago and decided it wasn't for me.
What was the job?
Faces of Disco.
What?
Explain.
There was There's a performance group called.
You were literally going to be the face of disco.
Yeah, that's one way of saying it. Yeah.
So, like, if you were to ever see, like, go into a record shop and there'd be like a disco section, there'd be disco, then the picture of your face.
Dan staring back at you.
Good God.
There's a performance group called Faces of Disco. They actually found fame on Britain's Got Talent a couple of years
I
back.
hate them already.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were.
Every time I hear performance groups, I just Legs Akimbo from League of Gentlemen pops into my head.
Anyway, they do a lot of corporate gigs and they do weddings and birthdays and stuff like
Bar
that.
mitzvahs.
And what?
Brisses? Bar mitzvahs?
Funerals.
You know, actually, yeah, in next year they've got 2 bar mitzvahs lined up. Yeah, anyway, they do a lot of corporate gigs and weddings and birthdays and stuff, and there's a lot of money to be made from it. But if I took the job and I was genuinely interested, just because it would be a laugh and a change of scenery and I'd get to make some good money and meet some interesting people, couldn't do it, because if I do it, time will be very constricted. I won't be able to do other commitments that I want to do. And
isn't that a foot in kind of into the industry? A bit worth taking.
Industry.
Yeah, but not in the way I want to do it though.
But doing what you're doing
door.
isn't at all.
You know, look, trust me, it wasn't the right decision. I was genuinely interested, but
what would you have to do? What would you have had to have done?
I would have had to work Wednesday to Sunday in the daytime.
Doing what?
Well, the daytime performance is the more grueling aspect of it. That would be that'd be like performing in public places in like town centres.
Also, like dancing.
Well, yes, but the face of disco is basically people who do comedic dancing in cool costumes and with like cardboard cut out faces.
Jesus Christ!
Hence,
Can you actually professionally dance?
I've got. Hey, what do you mean? You can't say. What do you mean? No, you haven't even seen me dance.
I'll see your prance.
Hey,
Smooth.
at least I can dance. I've seen you dance when you're incredibly drunk, and you know,
I'd rather have no dancing skills and have, if this was like a RPG character, have 0 level for dancing.
As opposed to 25
elsewhere.
you know what?
Drinking.
Girls like
plus 25.
Honestly, I'm offering you some life advice here, Stu.
If I take life advice off you, then I've took a fucking really wrong turn. So go on.
I know what he's going to say, and I agree with him.
Life advice: girls like a guy who can dance.
I know they do.
Do you dance, Nick?
No, I've seen Nick dance again. Nick's one of them who doesn't dance unless he's got gallons of alcohol in his
Yeah,
system.
I have danced. I actually had dance lessons. I've had Spanish dance lessons before. It was just no. It's really fucking. It really used to do my fucking head in. Because I was getting, you know Cammy, don't you? I was getting dragged by her to dance lessons with another mate and his missus.
Did you have to wear really tight pants and like Cuban heels?
It was really annoying because it was just the exact same
One guy,
time.
ginger doing fucking Spanish dance.
Flamenco.
Hey, fuck you. It was about the same time I just started doing Thai boxing, and obviously
Combine the two.
combining the two, and I was like, no, because
Wait a minute, I
you're
knew you
fucking
when
dancing,
you were
you're
doing
crossing your feet, and you're like, what the fuck, and then you're at boxing going, don't cross your feet, don't fucking cross your feet. And obviously it didn't gel well, so
You
I
know
went, fuck that shit, I ain't doing that anymore.
Don't let these two take the piss out of you. I've got respect for you for doing that, for even doing that in the first place. So,
Yeah.
well done.
It's a string to the bow.
Anyway, to answer whoever asked it, I can dance.
No, what I mean is...
This isn't a
sorry.
CV, by the way.
Right, what I was going to say is, at mine and Stu's work party, they had like a dance troupe there who were doing like proper badass dancing, and it's not a case that you could sort of learn the steps in a weekend. You had to be a pro dancer. Was this? I mean, I don't know what these Faces of Disco thing do. So
No,
is it like that or
no, because the thing is with pro dancers is the thing with Face of Disco is there has to be personality to it and everything, which you know, ideally a rounded performer, not just a dancer, a rounded performer or actor can bring to the table. You know, so it's more just, you know. I can't visualise this obviously because of a podcast, but you know, it's all just, you know, kooky, disco-y
Vomit.
vomit, you know, but with cool costumes and routines and cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, I've pulled the website up.
Anyway, It would have been a lot of fun. I could have met some people. Yes, you could argue, Stu, it would have been a climb up the ladder, hence why I entertained the idea of having the interview in the first place. But it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for
What
me.
put you off?
Just certain things that I wouldn't be able to do. Again, I'd have to work. I'd have to work Sunday to. No, I've got that wrong. I'd have to work Wednesday to Sunday.
So you'd have Monday, Tuesday off.
I'd have Monday and Tuesday. I'd have to work Wednesday to Sunday in the daytime in like town centres. You know, which the first couple of months of the year as well, when the weather's brutal, I'm sure that will be very difficult.
Did the thought of you go through your mind? Did you imagine yourself in front of the steps in Bolton Town Centre at 2:30 on a Thursday doing a disco dance in front of scholars going, "The fuck are you doing, you gay?" Is that what went through your head? Because that's what would go through my head, and then it'd be instantly, "No, I'm not doing that."
You know what? That didn't bother me. 'Cause I don't think Bolton is one of the towns they perform to. Stu's just looking at the website now.
No, I'm looking at the video where they're on Britain's
Got Talent. I can't imagine you doing that, Dan.
On what
Detestable.
grounds? Do you mean that? Do you mean that?
Look
as a
how zany we are. I'm wearing the Queen's face and I'm disco dancing. LOL.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm a bit bitter and dark, and yeah, it's not really my thing. But you know, again, I entertained the idea. I was genuinely very interested.
You could have subverted them from inside.
How did you get the?
Where Bin Laden's
how did you come
face.
across the job? Sorry.
I was approached. They came to me.
Really? How did they come to know of you?
Came across my talent profile online.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, I'd have had to work Wednesday to Sunday in the daytime and entertaining towns, and then at night there would be gigs like birthday, weddings, corporate gigs, and then obviously like next year they've got like a contract on with like Blackpool Tower and everything. Use the ballroom there or whatever, you know. So again, I don't doubt that there's money in it. You know, if you do it well, I'm sure there's a lot of money in it. It could have met some cool people. But again, I'd be restricted to those hours. It has to be those hours because Face of Disco is a partnership thing. It's two dancers, okay? So if I say, oh, I can't do this week, I want to do such a thing, I want to go on such an audition, blah, 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 that means he can't perform either, which means he can't earn any money. And that's not fair on him. I might want to go to a last-minute audition. I have holiday plans next year, you know. I might, you know, again, I wouldn't be able to holiday between like March and November. Just, you know, just little
It's
things.
a sacrifice you're not willing to make for the
So
potential career.
they have the
yes.
AKB48 model then, if you do it in pairs, but there's more of you, so that means you can be, this group can be performing in different towns at the same time.
Yeah,
It's like a franchise.
we'd be like the Northwest person, so I would deprive this guy from earning money in the Northwest if I prove to be unavailable. It's unfair on him, it's unfair on me, because again, there's other things I want to do. Again, I've got a couple of trips lined up that I want to stick to. It's not right for me. It was very fun, I entertained the idea, was genuinely considering it, asked a few people's opinions. Never asked you guys, because I knew that you would shoot down the idea. But
The
yeah.
only reason I'd shoot that idea down
It's
to you,
because it's not right for me. I'd be stopping myself from doing other things, and I've got to put those other things.
I wouldn't have said it wouldn't be right for you, but not from a personal sacrifice point of view. I would have just said I would not categorise you as a person who would do dance theatre.
There you go.
That's why I would have said I don't think it's right.
Which is +1 hetero point for Melly. You're making your way back.
Thank you. The thing is, again, you know, could I have done the job? Yes, I know I could. I could have done it well. Would I have enjoyed the job? In theory, yes. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. And again, you know, this would be a job, not a career. And it was.
Do you want to step into Insta career?
No, because it doesn't happen like that. But this job wouldn't have been that pathway. It wouldn't have been that gateway.
Well, not to dispute that, but I mean, lots of big name actors have come from really shocking beginnings.
Yeah, but I just saw that video and I kind of agree. I was mocking him before and suggesting he should have done it, but I haven't seen that. I think that's the only thing that roots to is being in a travel tavern and hanging yourself after you've been doing it for 12 years. You're going, I do disco dancing, stereotypical disco dancing with the cutouts of famous people on my face. What am I doing? And then kick like that.
He paints a good picture, doesn't he? So there you go. Look, I made my decision and I stand by it. The fact is, I'm quietly confident. I probably say this every year, to be fair. I'm quietly confident 2013 is going to be a good year. And what will be, will be.
Despite having 13 in the number.
Absolutely. Because I'm not into all that. I can happily walk under a ladder. I can happily knock over some salt.
The walking under the ladder thing is common sense, though.
Yeah, someone might drop a hammer on your head.
Yeah,
or it could skid out and then it fall on you. So it's not like a black cat issue.
Right, fine.
Which, as we all know, is just a glitch in the Matrix.
Alright, and that's probably a good question to sort of end the podcast. Have you had a good year?
It's not been the year I wanted because it's been too much a repeat of last year, and I don't like that feeling of repetition. Not enough drastic change has happened. So it's been a fine year. Sure, it's not been Excelsior.
What about you, Phil?
I think we all know the answer to that question. It's not been a particularly good year or end to the year.
Fair enough. Stu?
Average.
Average?
Highs and lows. Nothing. It's not a standout year.
Nick?
I've
An amazing year! Fucking
all!
Well, look at what I've done this year. I've technically very nearly completed 2 films. I've been to America, to one of the most amazing places I've ever been in my life. I've got a new job. I've gotten out of a job that I fucking hated.
You moved in with me.
And I've moved in with Stu.
Which, obviously...
From a flat where I was very, very stressed out and very, very, very annoyed. Well, everyone who knows me knew how stressed out I was getting. So I've had quite a lot of change this year and experienced quite a lot. And yeah, I'd say I've had a good year compared to other years. So yeah, I think I've had a good
That's
year.
not been bad. Just
No,
average.
again, mine have not been bad by any means, but I'm a perfectionist, which is both a great and terrible thing in one. It's a great thing because I will always strive for better. It's a bad thing because better will never be enough. But I'm quietly confident that 2013 is going to be good.
I could only imagine you, Dan, as a huge mega celebrity and how
It's not enough.
how horrible you'd be.
Thank you.
You'd be like Christian Bale on the stage on Terminator. But be like, bring me coffee! This coffee is not hot enough! Bring me more minion!
Well, when we shot the photographer, our first day of shooting, going to Nick's to get my hair and makeup done, and the first thing I did was get his flatmate Rick to make me a tea.
We'll speak of the photographer and our other film project at a later day.
We will.
At depth, I feel, because
When it sees the light of day, you mean?
well, yeah, obviously when we finally premiere it, and obviously there's so much went into that film that me and Dan have done that we were going to do a director's commentary, but there's so many stories and little caveats and little things and facts we could tell about it that we could talk for hours about it, I'm sure. And I think once we have watched it and it is out there, I think it would be kind of cool just to talk about it.
I think we should still do a commentary anyway. But,
Oh, yeah,
but it's true, we will never be able to say as much as we want in 17 minutes, will we?
Yeah, there's so much shit we could talk about.
Including dogging.
Yeah, dogging's one of the stories that went into the making of the photographer. It's weirdly enough, isn't it?
Almost having a breakdown on the second day of filming. It's just,
Yeah, all kinds of crazy shit happened.
Mental or vehicular.
All kinds of
Mental.
breakdowns.
There was again, I won't spoil anything yet. You'll know the full story in time, but there was a moment on day 2 where we probably both could have cried. But we didn't. Hooray!
Yeah.
What if, just think about this now, Nick, then you think about the dogging story and the knowledge that Dan can run his petrol gauge down to nothing and not know. What if you would have gone like that and then the guy just approaches? Just all from all sides, men with the knobs out come up.
It's like,
and you can't
like
let go.
zombies.
It's like zombies.
First of all, I would have put central locking on.
And then
You
started
would
to
have
cry.
bukkakied your car.
That's better than bukakiing myself or Nick. Secondly,
In that scenario, I think Nick would throw you into the path and leg
no,
it.
see, that's not true. The thing is, I would have to look after the car. It's my car. I would have to ask Nick to go out and get some petrol. So
I thought the precedent would be to call your mum.
why not?
Get her to come out during a mass bukkake to give you some petrol.
You know what? Actually, I'm not sure if I fully owned the car at that point or not. I can't remember. I might have still been sharing the car with my parents. I don't know.
You were?
Then they wouldn't have been
Well,
able.
that'd
Then
be
they
hard
wouldn't have
to
been able to go
explain.
for us.
Dan,
So we'd have
Dan
been
love, why is the car covered in semen?
It was a long story.
Long story.
You know, that car went through some trials. There was one day we needed that car for rehearsals for our film, and couldn't use it because the passenger seat was stained with blood and urine.
Real blood in you.
Yeah.
From a dog attack victim.
Yeah.
Seriously, horrific story.
What, person or dog?
Person.